In today's quick video, let's talk about GABA. Let's dive in. GABA, or gamma aminobutyric acid, is a naturally produced neurotransmitter in your brain, and its primary role is acting as an inhibitory neurotransmitter, so meaning it actually kind of tamps down or sedates the nervous system in a way. Now, GABA is produced in the brain, and it actually comes from a metabolic process involving the amino acid glutamate. Not only is GABA available as a supplement, but it's actually found in some foods. You can find it in things like tomatoes, some germinated cereals like barley, even sprouted beans like adzuki beans, soybeans, and of course green tea as well. You can even find it in some fermented foods such as kimchi. Now, GABA can be made either through microbial process, or it can be synthesized chemically, or through other enzymatic reactions. Now, when you buy GABA as a supplement, it's generally being chemically derived or synthetically manufactured. Now, with those type of supplements, I generally see dosages around 50 milligrams up to 1.5 grams per day, but be sure that you're working with your provider to know the correct dosage. Most studies I've seen have studied GABA daily for about 1 month periods, but clinically I have seen clients and people be on GABA for a longer period of time. Again, work with your practitioner to find out the exact length of time and the dosage that's correct for you. It also has been studied in children as well, and is being researched in things like autism, schizophrenia, and other sort of mental disorders. Now, because GABA acts as an inhibitory or sedative-like depressant in the nervous system, it's often used or studied in conditions such as anxiety. And it makes sense because it does tamp down that nervous system. It often puts people into a calmer or even more alert state where they don't feel anxious or nervous. There also has been some animal research in using GABA as an antidepressant, and in one study it did find that it increased other neurotransmitters such as serotonin, norepinephrine, and even 5-HTP. The other way I see GABA being used is to help with sleep. Now, we know that GABA actually plays a physiological role in our sleep process, and we know that many medications that actually help with sleep, or different sleep aids, actually target these GABA receptors as well. So theoretically, taking GABA can actually help to promote sleep as well. Now, it's actually unclear whether supplemental GABA crosses the blood-brain barrier, but in many studies that I've researched, there is some sort of clinical effect either with anxiety or with sleep. Now, when taking GABA, you want to look out for a few things. Theoretically, because it is a central nervous system depressant, if you mix it with other CNS depressants, so any other medications, hypothetically, that could cause too much of a sedative effect. In a few studies, it was also seen that GABA had this temporary or transient effect on decreasing blood pressure. So be careful when mixing GABA with other hypertensive medications, because it could lead to hypotension or too low of blood pressure. So again, make sure you're working with your practitioner before dabbling with GABA. Now, how do I use GABA? I tend to use this one with my clients who are really stressed out, and all that stress is really ramping up their nervous system, and so they're feeling a lot of anxiety, difficulty thinking, difficulty focusing, and concentration. And generally, they're having issues with their sleep as well. Typically, if I'm using this one in a daytime formula, I'll actually mix it with something like an L-theanine or even something like phosphatidylserine, which actually can help with focus and concentration, and again, all promoting that sort of calm but alert state. All right, I hope that you learned something, and if you have any experience with GABA that you'd like to share, go ahead and leave it down in the comments below. Otherwise, I'll see you in the next video. Bye.